moments ago, we just found out the trial of the century has been decided, and it is not Goopy. That's right. Gwyneth Paltrow is a free woman. She is a free woman, a jury of her peers. I mean, and I would have to say, who's Gwyneth Paltrow's peers? According to this trial, Taylor Swift. But a jury, an unbiased jury, a jury without Goop subscriptions, a jury in Utah that got to see one of the most wildest cases of all time decided correctly and fairly. Last week, I talked about this on the show. I talked about this Gwyneth Paltrow trial, and immediately everybody got on my case. Don't attack the victim, blah, 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 blah. But here's the reason. I agree with you. I'm not here. I'm not a judge, jury, executioner. I'm not Judge Dredd. I'm not. I don't want to be Judge Dredd. All right. I know that's a faulty thing to do, but this smelled fishy from the get-go. Gwyneth Paltrow gave this man brain damage and broke his ribs, and it was a hit and run. The story seemed ludicrous, and it was 6 years ago, and he sued her for $3 million. Now he brought it down to $300,000. And as people are saying in the chat, when I first heard the story, yeah, it smelled like one of those Goop candles. It smelled like bullshit. Is there a bullshit Goop candle? Because if there is, I would buy it. And I would, by the way, here's the thing. I've been watching this Gwyneth Paltrow trial. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. It's on in the background. I'm excited. I'm watching the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. I know it's bullshit. And I think Gwyneth Paltrow should somehow capture the scent of that courtroom. She has a candle that smells like a vagina. Let's have a candle that smells like bullshit. Like, because you were living in that sphere, you got a special scent in there. I think we should have a trial candle. I would buy a trial candle, a free woman candle. And you know what? Molly brings up a good point. We're going to bring Molly out here in a second. This trial is fun to talk about because it's not heavy. It's not heavy at all. It's kind of lovely. In the sense of no one got murdered. There's no real abuse. It's a fun trial to talk about and dissect. And I feel like everybody between this and that AI image of the Pope wearing the Balenciaga jacket, this is the most exciting stuff in a week full of shitty things. And there's been a lot of shitty things going on this week. And if, just to briefly mention it, I am a big supporter of Everytown. I love Everytown. I love the work that they do. Common sense gun laws. I think the only thing that we can continue to do is talk about it and support it and the people that are trying to make changes. And I don't want to get all the way down in that rabbit hole this week, only because it's very heavy. And I want to lift us up a little bit for this hour. And no better way to lift us up. We'll get back to Gwyneth Paltrow. Then for me to read you my second AI monologue. All right. So last week I asked Chat GPI, I said, Chat GPI, please write me a monologue that I can do to start off Friend Zone. And they wrote me a monologue that took a couple shots at me, but also not bad. Had some funny jokes in there, I think, or jokes. There's and I wanted to step it up this week. So I said, Chat GPT, write me, Paul Scheer, a monologue that is a little bit more pop culture and topical, because last week the monologue wasn't very topical. It was more general, right? So here we go. ChatGPT, my only writer on Friend Zone, wrote tonight's monologue, and here we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paul Scheer Show. Wow, it has been a crazy week in the world of pop culture. So let's dive right in. First up, have you all seen the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie? It's called No Way Home, and it features appearances from past Spider-Man actors like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. This movie is going to be huge. And I'm not just talking about the number of Spider-Men on screen. Now, I did realize that ChatGPT doesn't really go past a certain date, so keep that in mind. In music news, Lil Nas X continues to push back. It's so old. I said, can you update it to March? They said, no. Okay. In music news, Lil Nas X continues to push boundaries with his latest music video for Montanero, Call Me By Your Name. The music video features the singer giving Satan a lap dance, which has sparked a lot of controversy. But hey, controversy sells, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church was Lil Nas X's target demographic all along. Let me try that again. Let me try the end of that again. You know, it sparks a lot of controversy, but hey, controversy sells, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church was Lil Nas X's target demographic all along. Like, right, like in the ballpark, but not on the field. Like we're in the stands. I feel like that's that joke. Okay, applause break. Thank you, applause break. I'll put that in there. There we go. Boom. All right, ChatGPT's topical monologue continues. And speaking of controversy, let's talk about the Oscars. The nominations were announced this week, and once again, the Academy is facing criticism for lack of diversity. I mean, it's 2022. Can we please get some representation on screen? I'm pretty sure that Will Smith isn't the only black actor in Hollywood. Now, what's interesting about this is obviously ChatGPT understands that there is a giant issue with Will Smith at the Oscars. And yet they still fed this one to me as a topical joke, even though, well, I mean, this is where ChatGPT's run into some problems, I feel like. I feel like they're not giving me the good ones. Let's see if we get it at one more here. In other news, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down with Oprah for a tell-all interview about their experience in the royal family. And let me tell you, it was juicy. I mean, I haven't seen that much tea spilt since the Boston Tea Party. But in all seriousness, the interview did shed some light on some serious issues within the royal family. And I hope it leads to some real change. Wow, taking a moment. Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for tuning into the Paul Scheer Show. I will see you next week. Thank you, ChatGPT. I like that ChatGPT is giving me a little bit of a moral compass. Like I get to reflect in a moment. I'm not just here to make fun of Harry and Meghan. I'm here to also be like, yeah, but the royal family is a little fucked up too. So ChatGPT, interesting. Down with the royals, up with Will Smith, and also kind of like taking a shot at Marvel. Here's the thing. The Spider-Man joke about a lot of Spider-Men was like 3. Like, I feel like there's a better joke. There. Like all these multiverses. I don't know. I'm not ChatGPT. I don't know where the ChatGPT is thinking. People, I don't know if you know about this. But if you like the show Impractical Jokers, well, bonus, I'm on it tonight. I am on Impractical Jokers. And let me tell you, I got to do something on that show that was very similar to this. I won't tell you any of the specifics because I'm bound to secrecy until 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I had to do a full show in front of a live studio audience in New Jersey. They thought they were coming to a real television taping. And we created for them a game show that is hands down one of the most insane things I have ever done. And the best part about it was the audience thought it was real. And they stood there and sat there and watched and laughed and applauded for one of the most bizarre things. I can't tell you more than this. The game show is called Tales. And maybe next week or the week after when I'm back, I'll give you a little bit more insight about that. But Impractical Jokers tonight, 10 p.m. It was wild. And I normally don't like doing pranks because I laugh. I like watching pranks. Was I in Jersey is the question. Yeah, I was in Jersey. I had to be in Jersey. I'm watching. I'm glad that you're watching. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. All I know is that like we had maybe an hour long or at least 45 minutes from start to bottom, from tips to tails of a show. And I was like, that should be a whole spinoff show. All right. So Impractical Jokers tonight, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Murr and I together so we can put together that rumor. We can, Murr and I are together so we can put to rest that rumor that we are the same person. Look, so now let me ask you this. Let me show you this. Obviously, because Rob Hubel has not been here, I have been experimenting. I've been, I've been flexing my weight, seeing what happens. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this show needs some more, some different art, kind of let people know what's going on. And I'll tell you that I had, again, AI, I had Midjourney create for me a new show poster. So here we go. This is the new show poster that Midjourney created for me. That is me hosting a Twitch stream. I am a god of the stream, and there I am just having fun. I mean, this is a place where we can acknowledge that ChatGPT has a place, but it's not going to replace us all. Sure, I want to book a flight to Boston. That's going to be great. ChatGPT creating this. The iPad is, I think that's a computer screen, Molly, but it's an odd computer screen. Yeah. So there it is. Some cool headphones to match. But I also kind of said, I said, I don't do this show by myself. I do this show with my amazing producer, Molly. And I said, can you create an image of me, Molly, and Birdie? And I put in images of all of us. Sadly, Molly was eliminated from the picture, and I got Birdie, but Birdie is not Birdie. So check out what ChatGPT made for the Paul, Molly, and Birdie show. There it is. We got a little, that's Paul, Molly, and Birdie. And here in this one, it looks like me hosting with Birdie. I'm going to try to do this again. But again, I want to open up everyone to come to the Discord, discord.gg /Paul Scheer. Give me your GPT images. Give me your scripts. We'll have fun in there. I do want to say I do like this image though. I mean, this is the one. I mean, if I, that's that. How can you beat it? It's not really me, but it's not really not me. It does look like the Hot Ones host. Somebody asked me up here. Let me see here. Okay. Bradley Cooper. Why are we Bradley Coopering today? Oh, you know what? Let's go back. Somebody was saying that. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can pull that up. Commenting on this. This is interesting hair chest placement. Well, I didn't put it there. I mean, it is interesting that it's just like a strip. It's like a landing strip down the center. So there we go. And then, all right. Should I do the daily? No, I don't need to replace anybody. Rob will be back. Rob is working. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation. So that will be good. Oh, people think that that's a mic shadow. Okay, that's what a mic shadow. It's a mic shadow, not chest hair. But by the way, I do have a hairy chest. So there you go. All right. What else do I want to talk about before we get into really breaking down some big things? Okay. I don't know if you're like this. My mom is on Instagram. I'm not going to give out her handle. We've talked about this in the past. I don't like to blow my mom up on Instagram. It would be easy for you to find her in a way. She often comments on Rob Hubel's posts. She often comments on my posts. She'll be like, that's my son, looking cute. She'll say something like that. So my mom sent me something that I'm going to just cue it up here. Hold on one second. I'm going to get it all ready to go. All right. So my mom now not only does Instagram, but she also has learned how to like DM stuff on Instagram. So my mom is slipping into my DMs and often sending me very cute things. And like I said, my mom and her handle on technology is interesting. You know, she'll say to me, Paul, have you seen that TikTok video with the dog? And I'm like, I need a lot more specifics, but she thinks there's like one video on TikTok with the dog. So that's where we're at with mom. But mom, my mom who, like, yes, thirsty for Rob, my mom who likes to comment on my page and say stuff like, looking cute, but not in a weird way because I'm your mom. And then that makes it more awkward. You know, my mom is DMing other celebrities. Yes, skincare people. She's getting in it. And it's weird because if this really happened more on Twitter, you could actually see her trying to interact with people on Twitter, and she changes her handle like 9 million times because she keeps on like forgetting her password. So here is what my mom sent me. I'm not going to give you any more setup than, oh, my mom sent me a message. My mom slipped into my DMs. What did she send me? Here we go.
Let me tell you something special about your mom. Your mom will never change. The mom you know now will be the mom you know forever. You'll meet a lot of people in your life and they will change, but your mom never will. Your mom will always be that mom that loves you more than she loves herself. She will always be that person that will give you everything before she gives it to herself. Your mom will always think about you before she even thinks to think about herself. Your mom will never change, but you will change. You will change because of that. You will change because of that love. You will change because of how annoying your mom is.
Okay.
You will change because you will realize that the only person
who
was on your side, who was on your team, no matter what happened, was your mom.
Stop getting so angry.
But your mom will never change.
Okay.
And as you get older and you look back on your life, you will realize that the reason you became, or the reason why you changed into the person that you had to become, was because your mom never changed.
Okay, sure. But can we just change the subject? Okay, sure. I got it. All right. So that is this guy.
Let me tell you something special about
get out of here, mom. And let me tell you. Oh, wait, that guy. That's all his videos are. They're just rants about respect your mother. Respect your mother. And they get equally, they actually get more angry and more frustrated. I don't know, Molly, if there's another one you could easily pull up, but they're all on the dashboard of his car. And he's like, let me tell you something about your mom. You may hate her fucking guts, and one day you may want to stab her in the head, but she is your mother. You got to love your mother. And I'm like, hey, man, who is this for? And then I realized it's not for me. It's for mom. This is like mom porn. It's like, yeah, I am this. Like getting like this feedback, like I did do this. I did do that. And because he's like, when your mom looks you in the eye, she will always accept you. And I'm like, what is behind this guy and his attitude with his mom? Because it is too anger. It's like, take your mom's name out of your mouth, according to Francis Rizzo there. And I agree with Ducking Fork. Is this guy trying to fuck my mom? Is this guy trying to fuck my mom? He's like really appealing to her. It's like, this is the guy who is like, he should be giving a foot massage. The way that this video is set up, we should be like looking at just a woman's foot and him just, you know what? No one gets you at work. No one understands you at work. Molly, anyone where he's in the car, I see Molly kind of Googling around. Like the car ones are intense. Let's see if that one, is that a mom one too? All right, pop it in. Let's see what we got here.
Remember this about your mom. On the days you didn't want to show up, your mom did. On the days you gave your mom a hard time about homework, your mom did. On the days you didn't want to go to school because maybe the anxiety was too much, or you didn't think it was worth it, or you just didn't want to go to school that day, but your mom knew you had to go. Your mom knew the places that were scary for you were going to change you. Your mom did. Your mom does the things that nobody else will do. And while she's doing it, it really doesn't make sense to you. And it's even hard for your mom to explain why she's doing it. But I can explain it. Because my mom did the same thing that your mom's doing for you. She's looking beyond that. She's looking beyond the test scores. She's looking beyond the homework. She's looking beyond the book report. She's looking so far beyond that because she can see your gifts. She can see your potential.
What did this guy What did this guy do to his mom? First of all, I'm not taking advice from this guy because his mom let him out of the house with that giant ass. What is it? It's like, it looks like It looks like he has like a like a like Jesus in the manger. He's not wearing a cross. He's wearing like it looks like Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus in there. And why is he so adamant? Like, did he run his mom over with a car? Is this like he's like, you know what? One day you're gonna run over your mom with a car and she will forgive you. Because that's what moms do. It feels like this guy has not talked to his mom in a long time. Like, I've never thought to myself as an adult, like, man, I wish my mom didn't make me go to school when I was a kid. What is going on? Someone's calling him the new Norman Bates, and the song underneath it does not match tone. Oh, Molly, this is the one. Molly found it. Okay, because I went deep and I only pulled one. Molly, pull this one. This is it.
When you're younger, you need your mom. When you're worried, you need your mom. When you need advice, you need your mom. In every moment that comes and you're worried, you're struggling, you're questioning yourself, you need your mom when you're younger. And then when you get older, your mom needs you. Your mom needs you to call her. Your mom needs you to remember her. Your mom needs you when she's worried, when she's questioning herself, when she's thinking about you. Your mom needs you. So in the beginning of our life, we always need our mom. And we need our mom throughout our whole life. But there comes a point when your mom needs you. Okay. And when your mom needs you, you better show up, just like your mom always showed up for you. And when you start showing up for each other, you have to understand where she came from the whole time. But don't wait. Don't wait till it's later. Understand now. Understand how much she loves you now, how much she believes in you now. Show up for her just like she's showing up for you.
This guy, first of all, he gets out of the car at the end. So you only got in the car to yell at me about, like, I feel like I'm being yelled at by a stepdad. Like, this is like, hey, sorry, Lucas, you married my mom, but it doesn't mean that you're not my dad. First of all, he gets in the car to start the video, out of the car at the end. Why are you yelling at me about my mom? And how did this become your thing? Like, I get it. There's food influencers. I get it. There are people out there that, you know, do Amazon finds. But this is like, I'm going to yell at you. Yelling at you about your mom is my thing. And then you put that song under it. For every mountain. It's too angry. It's too angry it's too like, and all I want to do is think about the poor woman that must have to sit through a date with this gentleman. Like, imagine going on a date with this guy, what this guy is like, because every time you're on a date with this guy, you have to remember that it's your mom's fault. Your mom gave you this. Your mom gave you a low self-worth. So you will go out with this guy. And in this guy, when he doesn't shut up and you don't leave, it's your mom's fault. I'm all for mom love, but this is, I feel like him and his mom have too intense. Like, I almost feel like he hasn't talked to his mom. It's such an intense hatred, but he's like, I'll be there for you. I hate you. It's a reverse motivational speech. Molly, tell me, you did some research on this song. Welcome, Molly, everybody. I mean, it's insane, right? I mean, I love my mom. I know you have a good relationship with your mom. It's too intense, right?
It's way too intense. I also don't understand his message. It's so all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through his Insta right now, and every single one has this Olivia You Are the Reason song.
And is that like so that's his only go-to is like, I got it.
I will say, Paul, you also sent me, can I share this video?
Oh, yes. I want to show this one too. So I'll just tell you when I stay here, Molly, for a second. So when my mom sent me this, I watched that. I went in a wormhole, watched a bunch of this, and I just sent her back, he seems angry. And my mom wrote back, right? And I feel like my mom wanted me to be like, send back, oh, mom, he's so right. You are the best. But she had to change topic pretty quick when I said he seemed angry. Because I'm like, I'm not lifting up this guy. I try to take care of my mom. I love my mom. She's amazing. Great mom. Smart woman. Perfect. Whatever. But I'm not gonna be like, this guy is delivering the message. All right. So this is one of the guys. Now, Molly, this is the other thing that my mom sent me. And
I know you wanted me to just take like the screenshot of it.
No. I was just,
Oh,
great.
I found the video of it.
Okay, great.
Knows my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason.
Okay, can we just, this is amazing. So can we just pull up the close up of the thing? This is another thing that my mom sent me. My son, the world might see you as a man, but I will always see you as the boy who completely captured my heart. It's weird. That's a weird sentiment, right?
It smacks of no one will love you the way that I love you.
Right. That's what but you can't write that because it's been said too much.
Right. So now it's like you may be like a grown up, but I see you as the baby. I changed your diapers when you were a kid. Like,
yeah, and it's like I'm seeing you. It's like I see you as the baby. Like to me, you are always the baby.
right.
Which I think is a fucked up thing to say because I always will love you because you're my son, my child. As a dad, I can say I will always love, but I have to acknowledge who they are. And I feel like what these posts are doing are like, when I controlled you, when you had to be beholden to me, that's when things were good. I don't like this thing where you make your own rules. That's what it kind of feels like, right?
Before you were a person with your own personality and thoughts on this world, when you were just my little bunch of cells that did what I wanted, that's when you were perfect.
Right. I liked you better when you weren't complicated.
I liked you better when you couldn't talk.
I liked you better. I liked you. It really is like this idea of you, like, our best relationship is when you don't remember it. So suck it up, asshole.
I liked you better when you needed me for everything. And now you need me for nothing. And who you are now, meh.
I liked you better when the only way I could relate to you is as a caregiver, not as a friend or a contemporary or a peer, because that had easier rules for me to follow. Like I knew how to change a diaper. Now I don't know how to talk to you about going out at night. It's like that. I remember my mom did say something to me one time where she's like, I'll never be your friend. I'll always be your mom. And that always rang weird to me. I'm like, well, I get that. Yes, you will always be my mom. But as I get older, our relationship should mature. Not that you will not love me as a son and not that you'll care, but like our dynamics change to a certain degree, right? Like to a certain,
I think there is something though really smart though about the idea of like I'm not going to be your friend. I find that
I agree. Yes, I agree. Yes,
I
don't want to have that kind of relationship either. Yeah,
absolutely. I've been like binging all the housewives and the housewives that treat their children like they are their peers or whatever. It's just a terrible relationship.
No, I don't want. I agree. I don't want to be like hanging with my mom. I don't want to be like I like the rules and relationships of them, but I guess like what I'm saying is there has to be some growth to a relationship in the sense that you are just being acknowledged. Well, now I'm also my own person. It's tricky. It's like I don't like let's invite my dad to my bachelor party, regardless of what I'm doing. It's like, no, that's not time for that. Yeah. Like, like I'm saying, that's like, and maybe it is different for women. I don't know. I can't quite put it together.
I had a girlfriend, like my very first girlfriend that got married, like out of college, and her mom demanded to go on the bachelorette party to Vegas. And I had to be like, let's pause this for a second.
Yeah.
Her entire wedding, her entire life is about her mom. And now she lives in a house like behind her mom's house and they pass the kid over the.
You see, it's too much. It's like, all right. So Richard Balshaft, the great Richard Balshaft, has suggested that we should write one back for my mom, which is like, my son, I'm so proud of the independent and separate human being you've become and for being witness to it. I love that. That's great. All right. Well, keep on reading if you want to write ones back. I also think it like devalues dads. I think dads are devalued in this culture. Not that I don't need dads to get props, but like, this is for moms, right? This is for moms.
Yes.
And dads don't care, I guess. Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think it's complicated. I think a lot of people have complicated relationships with dads.
Yeah.
But again, people have complicated relationships with moms too. It's not like a blanket statement to all moms. I went to my dad's bachelor party.
Yeah. Oh, I now here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went to my dad's bachelor party. I kind of threw my dad a bachelor party, but as a 30-year-old man, I threw my dad a bachelor party, and with his friends who were in their 60s when my dad got remarried, or late 50s, and it was a lovely time. We went to a steakhouse, and that was the bachelor party. It was basically that. It was very, very simple. It wasn't like, that's fine.
Like I threw my brother's bachelor party.
Right. But that's normal. That's a nice relationship.
Is it normal? I don't know. I mean, I felt like bachelor parties need to be like a little salacious, but this was not salacious in any way, except it was just fun and drinking on a boat.
Well, look, I'll tell you, I threw Rob Hubel's bachelor party, and we hired a ghost hunter duo, a mother and son ghost hunter duo to come to this Airbnb that we were staying in. It was a beautiful house in Ojai, and we had them look for ghosts.
Does the mother and son duo, does the son write ghost beat poetry about his mom and loving her?
I mean, like, when your ghost comes into your room, you got to remember that this ghost just wants to shower you with love, that this ghost is watching you shower, but it's not creepy.
Just because your mom is dead and a ghost, she's still your mom and you still respect her.
Well, look, somebody said, somebody's giving me a little problem. Just the steakhouse, that's it. Look, my dad is it was a forceful moment to even have my dad let me do that for him. Have a bachelor party. I think that my dad is not the guy even to gamble, or I think if I was a little bit older and had a little bit more money, I probably would have I was younger actually when my dad had that. I would have maybe like done a baseball game and I would have figured out something. Now I could figure out something better, but it's like, it was simple. It was a simple thing. All of his friends were, that's
second marriage. He's an older gentleman.
Yes, exactly.
We don't need to, what are we putting
we don't need to it's like
a relationship that we have. Like, we don't have to do whatever.
I know it's tricky. It's like there's no one engages with the occult like your mother. Oh, this is great. Wait, where is this one? I just saw it. It was like, this is great. No one hunts ghosts like Gaston. That's what we need. It does feel like a Kroll sketch. I want to start parroting this guy. Maybe I'll make a video next week for this guy.
To your mom, like I pop out and you can do a video for your mom, and we'll cut.
I want to figure out. Yeah, okay, all right. Let me make a video for my mom. Okay, all right. So wait, but Molly, come back in for a second before I do it.
Oh, okay.
I want to figure out the right. All right, so the right angle on it would be, I think the idea would be like, what's the underlying joke? Is the underlying joke that maybe it's like this? I have an idea. I may have an idea. You can come and correct it. All right, here we go. Mom, you're the only person. Wait, geez, it's hard to figure out how to, because it's so. I have to have I think I have to have a emotional beat like this. How about this, babe? When you hear someone talking shit about your mom, you got to go over to those people and you got to say, that's my mother. When you hear people not inviting your mom out, you sneak in to their house and you whisper in their ears when they're in bed, you just fucked up. When people don't eat your mom's dessert, you eat the entire thing and you tell everyone it's the best thing you ever ate. When your mom can't parallel park, you move all the other cars on the street so her bad parking looks good. When your mom calls an actor by the wrong name, you accept it and you never change it. And you call Danny DeVito Danny DeVeersburg for the rest of your life. When your mom tells you that The Whale was the best movie she saw this year, you agree with her and you say, yeah, Mom, it was. When your mom tells you that you, I lost it at the end. Let's see. Like, I have the same cuts. I can go on like they're like, when your mom tells you she saw a Kirk Cameron movie on Netflix and it was the best movie she's ever seen, you say, yeah, Mom, that sounds good. And you'll never watch it, but you'll pretend like you did. And when your mom asks if you can come over, you'll make up an excuse, but you will be so excited that she called and you will text her back. When your mom sends you a meme, you got to write back LOL. You just don't tag it with a ha ha. That's what you do to your mom. That's how you protect your mom. I wish I protect my mom. She was hit by a car after I left her on a hike, and the P-22 got her. The P-22, it's a wildcat. He's not dead. He got my mom. I wish I would have done all this for my mom, but I'm a piece of shit. I'm such a piece of shit. All right. There we go. Oh, man. Wait, this is good. When your mom is locked out of her Apple account because she keeps on entering her iPhone password, you drop everything to fix it. And you make a Post-it note and you put it next to the computer so she'll never forget. All right. Mom talk is going to continue. All right, Molly. Oh, you know what? This has been good. Just get off of moms for a second. Again, just a little self-promotion. I don't normally do this much self-promotion. But big news. I don't know if people are fans of the Disney show Big City Greens. Big City Greens is a great show. It's really, really funny. It's been on for a handful of seasons. And I play, I think, maybe one of the best villains like in television history. I play Chip Whistler. And truthfully, Chip Whistler is a son of a bitch. I started off on this show as the owner of a Whole Foods like store that is trying to run this family of farmers out of town. So over the course of this show, I have been awful to this family. And last season, the season finale, the Chipocalypse, my character's name is Chip. So in the Chipocalypse, I get on a military helicopter and I fire at their house. Like I literally fire a gun at their house or some sort of like I am driving in and something happens. My ship gets, my helicopter gets tossed in the air and I died. My character was killed on Big City Greens. So if you're hearing this again, I'm on a Disney show called Big City Greens where I play a villain who represents corporate greed in America. I've run for mayor in this town. I have done everything in my power to crush this small person, to break down this family of farmers. Everything I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen. And in my coup de grace, I bought all the property around their house and erected my own supermarket around them, like that house in Up, so they couldn't even leave it. And then I had a wrecking ball and I tried to wreck their house. I got into a helicopter and I tried to basically destroy their home. Luckily, the last second before I destroyed their home and property, the helicopter was thrown off course and I was killed in a bloody fire. This is a Disney show. It's awesome. It's hilarious. I was killed in a Disney show. And last week, the season finale of Big City Greens. I haven't been on the show for a year. Guess what happens? Boom. Who's that? At Chip Whistler's grave? Oh, wouldn't you like to know? Bingo, bango, Chip Whistler might be back. Chip Whistler might be back, but how? We haven't seen his face. We have seen the distinctive chip in his tooth to know that it's Chip, because Chip also is always getting his tooth replaced because he's always chipping it in an attempt to foil this family. But Chip Whistler's back, and this is some of the amazing fan art that was already made for Chip Whistler's return. There's literally a 5-minute long video on YouTube about this character and how evil he is. Chip is the Voldemort. His Horcruxes are coupons and shopping carts. Repossible Chip. And then, they got a headstone less than a year. Well, this is Big City Greens. They have a different thing going on. So, guy's an asshole. Let's see. Big City Greens. Okay. NHL game was this is good. So here it goes. So Big City Greens, big announcement. Chip Whistler might be back. Chip Whistler doesn't care about his mom, although my dad in the show, Ed Begley Jr., did not meet him, but I've met him in other things. Ed Begley Jr., one of the best. All right, so that's a little teaser about that. Molly, let's get into it. Let's get into Gwyneth Paltrow. Okay, so last week, you and I, we tried to break down the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. It was kind of early in the case, right? Opening arguments.
Very mild takes, I would say.
Yes, we had very mild takes because I think we started to jump in to kind of be like, what is happening in the Paltrow trial? But we felt like we wanted to do our audience here. We wanted to do them a service and hear both sides of the story. Now the case has been decided. Gwyneth is not goopy. She is out. She gets paid her $1 and legal costs. Now, here's the thing. So this guy set up the whole case for people who are not following. Quick recap, okay? And correct me, fill in my blanks.
Yes.
So about 5 or 6 years ago, Gwyneth Paltrow is skiing with her family in Park City, Utah. She has hired a private ski instructor for the day, with her family. She's out there. They're skiing.
She's got the best outfit on the slopes.
So she is doing that. And this is where it gets a little tricky. There's an accident. Her and another person. I'm going to get into how it happened in a little bit. But there's an accident. And the man who hit Gwyneth Paltrow says she did a ski and run. She hit him and she skied off. And he had no way of contacting her. He left her out. She left him out in the cold. He was in emotional distress. He fractured ribs. And he suffered brain trauma, which in the preceding years has gotten worse and worse. And he has not been able to live a full life. His personality has changed. He has become unhappy, depressed, etc.
He can no longer volunteer or enjoy wine tastings.
Right. That was some of the opening statements we got. And the trick and the question has been the entire trial, well, who hit who? Because Gwyneth Paltrow says, well, he hit me. And this guy says, no, she hit me. And we're going to get to what that's all about. But when this guy originally sued Gwyneth Paltrow for this ski and run, he had a $3 million like lawsuit against her. That was very quickly thrown out, came back in, and $300,000. So then Gwyneth Paltrow gets sued, and she's like, well, guess what? I'm going to countersue you for skiing into me for $1. Like kind of a fuck you, but you have to pay all my legal fees. Now, that seems like, oh, $1, how magnanimous she's being. She just wants to clear her name. But it's Gwyneth Paltrow's lawyers. Do you know how much those legal fees are going to be? It's going to be expensive. I want to understand that in a little bit too. So this guy is up against the wall, $300,000 versus $1 in legal fees. And I'm going to guess the legal fees are more than $300,000. That's my guess.
I suspect as well, although
that's hiring experts.
I would like to review that because I do feel as though her legal team was less than stellar. I feel like their opening arguments were lame.
Well, yes. Yes. So this is, I just want to set the bar here for what we are trying to decide. So right now, what we know is somebody hit someone and this man was sued for emotional distress. So the courtroom proceedings were televised. So every day is fully out there. And the first instincts were, what's Gwyneth wearing to court every day? It was because she is putting on a show. And I'm not much of a fashion person, but I feel like she walked the line of being positively Gwyneth without it being too much. It's like it looked normal without feeling too Hollywoody. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely agree. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures.
Yeah.
I saw some argument that said, let's see, no one has looked more on trial for a ski and run in Utah than this woman here.
Well, there are, like, this is a great show. Yeah, that's kind of we're doing earth tones. She's wearing, like, I think the glasses, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, this is a ski and run. This is a nice look.
Yes.
There we go. We got some good looks, and look there. That's a great sampling. It's very basic. It's not trying to flaunt too much. Now, here's my thought, and you may know more about this than I do. I believe that Gwyneth Paltrow's big move was to hire a local lawyer, like a Park City, Utah lawyer. I don't know if she could have brought a California lawyer in. I don't understand how that works. I think there may have been, whatever. But so she is probably getting the tip of the top of Park City lawyers. But the tip of the top of a Park City lawyer is maybe like in the top 35% of lawyers in the country. Like, I don't think that this lawyer is used to doing this sort of stuff. And he's kind of goofy. And the other guy, Sanderson, his lawyer's also goofy. We have these two lawyers that think they're on, like, Law and Order, but they are making weird cases. Like, repeatedly, Gwyneth Paltrow's lawyer, on cross-examination of the guy who either hit or was hit by Gwyneth, was like, you got one of those cool backpacks with the water bottle in it. What do you call them? Camelback? Pretty cool. Pretty cool bag. You kept on saying pretty cool bag. All right, so so somebody says, one local lawyer. Do you think that they especially like? Now, what did you take away from her? From Sanderson's lawyer?
Sanderson's lawyer was very fascinating to me. I was enthralled with her cross-examination of Gwen, because it seemed like all she wanted to do was be her buddy. Like, please be my friend. How tall are you? Oh my God, you're so tall and beautiful. I wish I was tall and beautiful like you.
You see, I think you're right to a certain extent. Like, I think there's something about celebrity. Like, they were using this moment to ask Gwyneth Paltrow, like, did you get the idea for $1 from your friend Taylor Swift? Like, they were trying to get some information out. It wasn't all relevant, but it also felt like when you see a lawyer trying, like, we are so used to seeing slick lawyers being slick on TV with perfect quips. And these lawyers were trying, like, you could see the seams of what they were doing. It was like getting in a boxing ring with an 85-year-old boxer. It's like, you're going to hit me like that. Okay, I can move. Like, I felt like Gwyneth Paltrow really, like, talk about skiing. She skied right through all that. Like, I mean, because they were like, the big question they asked, because this idea of, is it a hit and run? Is it a hit and run? And she said, did you know the etiquette that when you hit a skier that you exchange information with them? And Gwyneth Paltrow said, well, I did leave information. She did leave the information. But they said, but did you know that was it etiquette? And Gwyneth Paltrow was like, I don't think so, but I did. Right. Interesting. So it's like, what is the point that you're making? Like, you're trying to, like, you're like, gotcha. You did, like, she didn't do a hit and run. She left it with the ski instructor, who then gave it to the person. Now, the other part of this too is the guy that she either hit or hit her said he was left on the snow in emotional distress, ribs broken, head cracked, with no one there to help him. That was thrown out early in the trial as it was completely disproven. So now we're going, okay,
yes,
what is happening here? And And we start to like unravel this thing where they bring in a physics expert. Like, tell me if I'm missing anything, but they bring in this two physics experts, right? So one for his side who says, this is what happened. She skied into him. She was distracted looking at her son and she hit him. Their expert debunks. The Gwyneth Paltrow's expert literally is doing math in the courtroom, showing the law of physics that it couldn't happen. It starts to become very, very clear that this guy, which we knew from moment one, is just trying to get $300,000 from Gwyneth Paltrow because he's been in emotional distress. Now, his cross-examination was the best. It's a case of negligence. People are describing it, and that's what it is. Who was negligent of this injury? So we've already proven that it wasn't hit and run. That was something that was thrown out early on. So then it was like, did she hurt him in a way that he was impaired? When this guy gets on the stand, it was like he did not realize that any of his life would be called into question. No. Because they go to town on him. They're like, okay, sir, did you go to Machu Picchu like a month after the ski accident? Yes. Did you go there 3 times? Yes. Here's a photo of you hiking up a mountain. Is that you? Yes. Did you go kayaking? Yes. Did you travel to Germany to go to a BMX bike show? Yes. Did you do like all of a sudden this guy, you start to realize he's rich, or I don't know how he's traveling the world this much. He's at a Cinco de Mayo party. This guy, like, Facebook reveals this guy so quickly, right? So he is immediately like, you're at the museum. Here you are with your girlfriend. His girlfriend who testifies and says, oh, he's not himself. He's a weirdo now. It's like loving the sun in Italy. Now I understand a picture is a picture, et cetera, et cetera. But it was months of pictures, like just picture after picture. And it's like, and they're like, here you are running. He's like, oh, I got to get back in shape. Got to get back in shape after the accident. It's like, but that's 2 months later after you had like brain trauma. And this guy is just crushed. And the only thing he could defend himself on was they show him with a kayak. He's like, well, that actually was not a kayaking trip. But did you go on a kayaking trip? Yes. But that one's from a store. I was trying on helmets for kayaking. What do you think, Molly? You thought well, I don't want to say. What did you think about the?
Well, I did text you and said that I was surprised that Gwyneth came out on top. Just because I thought I made an assumption about the jury, thinking that they would all be like Utahns and know how to ski, right, or on the ski slopes all the time, and might have a vendetta against some like hoity-toity celebrity coming in. But clearly I was wrong. I think it's impossible to say what happened. And it seems
to me like this guy is like a wine drinking guy out in having a good time, and he just lost control and he hit Gwyneth Paltrow. He's like, jackpot.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I also don't know like how all of the complaints that he's had over the years about his diminishing personality and he's getting foggy and all this shit. That happens when you are getting
right.
older.
It's 6 years. It's 6 years from like he's in his 60s. There's something really funny about this, which is all right. So there we go. Wait, how old is he right now?
He's 75.
Okay. So this happens at he's 69. He's like, yeah, from 69 to 75. Ooh. It's like I've almost aged 6 years. My bones ache. My memory is short.
Come on,
dude. Come on, guy. And here's the thing. What was so great is like reading like Facebook posts. Like one of the things, and this has nothing to do with the Johnny Depp trial, but one of the things I thought was so telling is like you don't ever think your text messages are going to be read in court, right? So the stuff that you write, and so when you read a text message, you're like, oh boy, it's not even like incriminating as much as it's like, oh, cringy, right? Because and when the same thing when they're reading this guy's Facebook posts online, like, did you write beautiful sunset, beautiful woman, great wine? That does sound like me. That does sound like it's like you have to like anything that you have to stand behind, like on social media, like on a stand. It's no matter what you could say, it's like great. It could be like, did you write love my mom, respect my mom?
If you give me any aspect of my life under a microscope like that, I'm immediately gonna cringe. Absolutely everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I think that there's two things at play. Yes, Gwyneth Paltrow is super rich. There's nothing that you can do to hide the fact that she is super rich and one of her kids is named Apple, right? So when you go in there and people are picking apart what she's wearing or how expensive her notebook is, a $250 notebook, like, yeah, motherfucker, this person sells $100 vagina eggs. Of course she has a $200 notebook. Like, I'm not like shocked. No one's going to be surprised. She can't cry poverty. She can't. All she can do is use everything in her power to hire like a person who studies physics, and and basically everyone is testifying to her pretty much except for his family and his girlfriend, and then even they start to recant their testimony when pressed. This guy doesn't even show up for the trial. He's not even in the room for the majority of it because he wanted to like let his daughters testify without him being in the room, which on some level is a nice sentiment, but it seems like he's also weirdly checked out of this. Okay. But it's a wild trial. Yeah. I think that there's no gray to this. Like, this was like hit and run, and they tried to make a thing like, well, she's a rich celebrity, so she hired a ski instructor, so they're of course going to testify on her behalf. It's like, well,
anytime you go, like anytime I've ever been to a ski slope, I've hired a ski instructor because
me too.
What the hell, Paul? I have a question. Did you know that if you run into someone on like did you know that etiquette? I mean, I
know that the downhill skier has the right of way.
Yes, but like if you accidentally like bonk,
I would not know to exchange information like you're in a car accident. Absolutely not.
I would say, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And make
sure
it gets to safety.
Right.
But that's the extent of it. I'm not going to give you my number. Like,
I know. And it's also like the other part of this too, is like, I think Gwyneth Paltrow did it the right way. She gave it to the instructor, was the mediator. And by the way, she was there with her kids, and the instructor's like, go take care of your kids. I'll take care of this. Yeah. But yeah, it's like this idea of, and again, let's just break it down. It's Park City, Utah. This is fucking rich anyway. If you're on vacation, if you're there, if you're skiing on that mountain, you spend a lot of fucking money. So it's like, you can't cry like poverty. It's not like, you were in a Target and Gwyneth Paltrow like knocked you over with her cart, and that's it. So it's like, this is the funniest trial of rich people. Like, and by the way, Gwyneth Paltrow didn't want to be there. And there was a great moment before the guy got off the stand where they're like, do you realize, sir, that you brought this all upon yourself, that this examination into your life? And he's like, yeah, I did. And it's like, oh, you just thought that you're going to dangle $300,000, and Gwyneth Paltrow is so rich from selling those vagina candles that she was going to be like, all right, give him $300,000. Like, it's not worth it. And Gwyneth Paltrow just was like, motherfucker, let's go. And that honestly is what I love about, like, that makes me respect her more. She's like, fucking bring it. I'll go to Utah every fucking day.
I'll go to the trial, and I'm going to countersue. I love
it. For a buck. That.
She has settled out of court on numerous lawsuits against Goop and for their misinformation. Maybe he just thought it would be like that, but
right. And here's the thing. This has nothing to do about millionaires. It has nothing to do about like celebrity. It's just petty shit. It's funny when it's people's court with celebrities and lawyers. That's what we just saw. We just watched the best episode of People's Court, and I would be this judgmental and this approving of certain people. Like, motherfucker, put this on People's Court. Put this on Judge Judy. Get me Judge Joe Brown. I need this there. That's where it should have been. Yes. It's a simple negligence case, and it's beautiful. I love it. All right. Well, Molly,
I'm really sad that it's over.
I know. Me too. It's like we need fun trials and crazy weeks. I'll just because we're running where I have to go do a show. I'm going to show you one more thing I wanted to show you about, because I don't think there's much here, but there's just something I thought was fun. Today I was, maybe I should save this. Yeah, I'm going to save this for next week. It's too much fun. It's too much to unpack. Judge Scheer, you know what? I can't be Judge Scheer because there's a Judge Hodgman. If you're in Los Angeles tonight, I guess we're sold out. But, Molly, show us Birdie and Birdie's new look, because people were seeing it in the back.
Guys, Birdie is back to 99%. Long live Birdie.